Today we're looking at the Maypug P1, a projector that is small, smart and budget friendly, at only £60 in the UK and $65 in the US. Now I've spent some proper time with this little unit, tested it indoors, but as you've probably noticed with these projectors, they're trying to fit into this budget friendly niche that punches way above its weight class. Tiny body, lots of features, decent specs, but how does that all come together in actual use? That's what we'll explore today. But as always, let's do the unboxing. Right out of the gate, the unboxing is simple. Inside you get the projector itself, a remote, a power cable, and a basic user manual. Nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. It's small, super portable, and actually quite slick in design. We're talking just under 4 inches wide and 7.5 inches tall. And it apparently weighs in at just over a pound, which is 460 grams, although for me it weighed around 600 grams. Either way, still very lightweight and portable. You've got the clean, cylindrical look with the 180 degrees rotating base, which obviously is a standout feature. It makes it easy to project on a wall or flip it right up to the ceiling if you're trying to chill in bed. It definitely adds to the flexibility and the versatility it provides. For connections, you've got the USB, HDMI and 3.5mm headphone jack, along with the power button and the power input. It does the basics, and from a unit this size, it's all you can expect really. The projector is Wi-Fi 6 capable and supports Bluetooth 5.0. That is a standard thing nowadays, but it does mean you have faster transmission, lower latency and more reliable screencasting. Whether you're connecting your phone, your laptop or your tablet, it'll most likely get the job done. The Bluetooth support is really helpful, for one because of the sound. You ideally want to get external speakers connected, and the Bluetooth will make that possible. Now onto the remote, which has the standard buttons with some additional support like the mouse mode, which isn't quick because it still moves around with the arrow keys instead of being moved around with the hand movement. There's also some dedicated buttons for page scrolling, but they didn't work for me on any apps. And that's the same with this menu icon, just doesn't seem to do anything. So quite disappointed if they've just been added for looks. Now onto the sound. The built-in speaker is decent. It's there, it'll work for casual viewing, and it's better than nothing, but also not great. If you're in a noisy environment or trying to fill a room, you'll want to connect to external audio, because it's just not loud enough even for a small room. Having good sound quality is equally as important as the image quality, so even the best movies without good sound can feel daunting. Now let's talk about the projection quality. The Maypug P1 has a native 720p resolution, and it supports up to 180p input. Even 4K input, though it's obviously downscaled. This is a marketing thing that a lot of companies use. It says 4K in a nice shiny icon on literally every box, but it's always worth checking what that 4K actually means. Now for the actual viewing experience, I was pretty impressed. You get a screen size between 40 to 130 inches, and the sweet spot for me was around just 5 feet away. What I wasn't impressed by is this power cable, which is only 1.2 meters long, so you'll almost definitely need an extension cable. Brightness isn't jaw-dropping, but it's totally fine in a dim room or at night. This is not a projector for daylight viewing, but to be fair, that's the case with most budget projectors, and they are not really built for that purpose anyway, so I think it's all good. Now one thing I love is the auto horizontal keystone correction. If your angle's a bit off, it automatically straightens it out. Makes setup a lot quicker, especially if you're someone who can't be bothered to fiddle with the settings every time. Now in terms of heat and noise, it does have a built-in cooling system which does work to minimize the heat, but for the noise, I would say it's on the noisier side. Even with the volume on full, you can hear the fan through the noise, and this is why I mentioned the external audio that you need, because the sound just isn't loud enough. Now here's something that's not officially listed, which is the bulb life. On the actual product page they don't mention it, which is a bit weird, but I did some digging and based on similar models, it seems like the bulb is rated for around 50,000 hours. Now obviously that's one of those take it with a pinch of salt numbers, You're probably not going to use it non-stop for 6 years straight, but for normal daily or weekly use, it should last you a long while before you even think about replacing the bulb. Now here's a bit on the user interface. As you log on, you'll be presented with this homepage. It looks quite different to what I've seen before. It uses the Xiaomi TV interface. The settings are standard. You can access the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, image settings, projection settings, the source you like to use, audio and everything else. The projection settings is where you can change the size of the display and turn the auto correction on or off. Across the top you have options like movies, TV shows, apps and library. The apps is where you can access what apps you already have installed or would like to install from the Google Play Store. You can also cast your phone directly to this. For Samsung, it uses the simple Smart View. It'll show up as P1 and that's it. Simple as that. For iOS, it's more complex but doable through the instructions on the user manual. Then there's the rest of the apps like YouTube, Netflix, Disney+, Apple and so on. So final thoughts? For the price, it's punching in a very competitive space and it does the basic things right. The size, the portability, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, that rotating base, all solid features. The image quality is also decent for casual viewing. But is it perfect? No. The non-functioning buttons on the remote control, the average built-in audio, the noise level of the fan are some drawbacks. But overall, for a budget projector with this much flexibility, I can definitely see why this would still make a good choice. That's all for now. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to see more videos like this, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!